Hey guys, welcome to Battle VIP Pass FST. Today we got Magical Disaster, feature new Absol from Crown Zenith with the amazing Lost Claw attack unto 70 base damage for 1 darkness and 2 colorless, putting a random card from opponent's hand into the lost zone. So we are losting 1 card and also discarding another card from their hand. After playing a Marnie, they would have 4 cards left in their hand. We're playing only 2 copies of Marnie in this deck, but we have our Hatterene to discard even more with our Mindhead ability, discarding every single turn 1 card from each player's hand, but only your opponent gets to choose though. They get to choose what card they're discarding from their hand, and you also get to choose what card that you have to discard from your hand. So every single turn you get to use this ability. We are only playing 2 copies with 2 rare candies and 2 Hatenna, but we are actually able to play its ability at least once every single turn, discarding at least an extra card from their hand with extra discards using our Spirit Mask as well. So Spirit Mask is an old tool card that we actually get that allows us to discard another 1 more card from our opponent's hand, forcing them to discard every time they damage our Pokemon with this tool card attached. They have to discard any 1 card from their hand, but they get to choose, again, they get to choose the card. For our Lost Claw though, it is a random card. They don't get to choose what card that we are losting. For our Mindhead and also Spirit Mask, they are able to choose. So we have our Avery against 1 price counter. We have also our Spiritomb to do big damage as well against VMAX or V-Star decks. We're not only doing a control strategy by discarding their hand, not only disrupting their hand, but also doing big damage with our Chain of Spirits, hitting 250 max damage with 2 darkness energy using Ditto to copy Spiritomb's Chain of Spirits attack in the discard pile. So all we need is 4 Spiritombs in the discard pile to do 250 damage with our Ditto, having 2 darkness energy attached with our Raihan, Marnie's Pride, and also Experience Share. So we have 2 Raihan, 1 Marnie's Pride, and 1 Experience Share to help us charge up for the double darkness energy cost, and also help us play our, Raihan helps us get our search for either our Rare Candy Evolution or the Twin Energy to do our Lost Claw. If we have Absol in the discard pile, we get to play Lost Claw using Ditto as well. And for our draw support, we have 2 Bibarel, 1 Radiant Jirachi to search for any 3 cards from the deck. Once this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from your opponent's attacks, you get to search any 3 cards from your deck and put it into your hand directly if they don't have a Battle VIP in play while doing the knockout. So we also have our Rod to shuffle back our Pokemon and energies. We have 3 Incense, 2 Ultra Ball for the Evolution as usual, 1 Heavy Ball to get any Spiritombs from the prize so that we get to discard it to do max damage with our Ditto, playing 250 damage with our Chain of Spirits, and also 4 VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball with 1 Capture to get our basic Pokemon to set up for us to evolve our Hatterene as fast as possible to use Mindhead every single turn as early as we can. We also have 1 Manaphy for the bench barrier, and also 1 Professor Burnet to discard our Spiritomb early. All we need is 4 in the discard pile. If we have 3 in the discard pile, we actually get to play our Chain of Spirit for 190 damage, which is not bad. It also has the 𝒁𝒆𝒏𝒊𝒕𝒉 ability that only works on Spiritomb, by the way. Ditto is not able to copy its ability, so you get to search for any 1 card from your deck when this Pokemon gets knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, and you actually get to search for a Raihan for you to charge up for your next Ditto. Since we're playing only 2 copies of Ditto, we actually have to think about playing 1 copy from our hand, 1 Spiritomb from our hand to attack, so that we get to use play as many attackers as possible and do as much damage in the game. If we have only 2 attackers with 1 Rod, it's not enough for us to win the game by doing damage for the knockout, drawing all 6 prizes. We actually need that Spiritomb in play. So if we play 1 Spiritomb from our hand early in the game with that Professor Burnet, we can at least do 130 damage. If we discard 1 with our Quick Ball as well, we can, or even Hatterene's Mindhead ability, we can use this ability to discard our Spiritomb from our hand as well. If we discard it early, we get 190 damage early, which is not bad, and then on the next turn we can kill a VMAX with another strike using Ditto, doing Chain of Spirits a second time. On to our supporter cards, we have 2 Marnie, 1 Bruno, 1 Serena, 1 Avery, and also 1 Bird Keeper for the draw support, 1 Escape Rope for the switch, and also 1 Bird Keeper with 1 Air Balloon to help us retreat fast. Finally, for our energies, we're playing 3 Twin with 7 basic darkness energy. So that's all for the deck list. Now let's go for some gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Hisuian Sneasler V with Butterfree. They've got a Reizu, which is a super cool combo. They get to search for any 3 copies of 1 price evolution cards and put it into their hand, and that means they get to search for not just Metapod and Butterfree to instantly evolve with their ability, but also play Bibarel, search for Bibarel for the draw support. So they have I forgot the ability, but it, you get to immediately evolve into the stage 2 by directly playing your Metapod instantly after benching your Caterpie, you get to evolve on the same turn into the stage 2 Butterfree and use its ability to confuse to affect your opponent's active Pokemon with Confusion, Poison, and Burn. And that allows you to hit for 240 damage with your Hisuian Sneasler for 1 Darkness and 1 Colorless. In addition to the Burn and Poison, you got 27 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon, plus 2 more if you have Radiant Sneasler in play. So 270 plus 2 more damage counter, that's 290, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 270 plus, I think so. And then if you play a Choice Belt, you get to kill a VMAX. So new VMAX Pokemons, nowadays, the VMAXs have 10 more HP than usual. So Duraludon VMAX, Kyurem VMAX, Hatterene VMAX is still 320 though. Some of the VMAX, some of the weaker VMAXs are only 320 or lower. But if they have like the max HP for a VMAX, Hisuian Sneasler is not able to do a one-hit knockout. But for regular VMAXs, you can actually kill anything with Hisuian Sneasler. Or at least force them to switch. If they don't switch their Pokemon, they're gonna get poisoned and burned to death. So Sneasler is a crazy one-hit KO deck. But we got our Spiritomb. We're playing a 1-price deck, so I feel like we should be fine. We're doing big damage with Spiritomb, Ditto, and also losting and disrupting their hand with our Hatterene and Lost Claws. I feel like we have the advantage here. Let's hope they don't knock us out on this turn. If they do, we have our Raihan and also Curse Message for the extra search. So I feel like we should be searching for a Quick Ball or a Spiritomb into our hand. If we get a Quick Ball, we get to search for a Spiritomb, and then Raihan for the extra energy, and also for the search, we get to search for another 1 card with Raihan, and that means we need to get our switch card, our Air Balloon, so that we get to retreat immediately after playing the Raihan, because we haven't benched it on this turn yet. So we're forced to retreat, and that means we're only able to do 70 damage with our first Spiritomb, which is not good because we are not able to discard extra copies of our Spiritomb that early in the game. So if they do early knockouts, it's going to be quite bad for us because we want to be waiting until we have enough Spiritombs in the discard pile for us to be able to do enough damage. We also want to be waiting for us to have enough energies on Absol or Ditto to be able to play Lost Claw for for the extra disruption, because we are losing 1 random card from their hand, and that could actually destroy their hand a lot if we have Hatterene as well after playing a Marnie. So we did 130 damage for our first strike using Professor Burnet to discard 2 extra copies of Spiritomb from our deck. So discarding 2 copy means we are doing 130 damage, and on the next turn we just need 70 more to collect the knockout, and Absol with Raihan would be perfect. All we need is a Raihan. We got a Twin Energy, we just need a Raihan. Let's hope we can dig out at least a Marnie's Pride or something. If we get the Marnie's Pride though, we need the Air Balloon. If we play the Escape Rope with Marnie's Pride, we don't have a knockout. So let's hope we get the Raihan. They're probably going to do it right now. They're definitely going to play the Dark Patch to charge up a second Sneasler. So they're probably going to bench another one and attach 1 more energy. So it's quite easy. All they need is to evolve the Butterfree, but they are playing a lot of evolutions though. They're playing a Stage 2 and also a Stage 1 draw support. Okay, no second Sneasler apparently. No second copy on the bench, and that means it's gonna be a bit more difficult for them to charge up the next one. They're gonna need another Dark Patch just to attack for the next turn. I'm not sure why it's so weak. I feel like they don't have enough energies in their deck, because they're actually playing the Dark Patch when they don't have to. Okay, we got the Raihan. And now we're going to discard another Spiritomb to search for, let's play the Hatterene, because we actually evolved on the last turn And now we just need to evolve it from our hand. We got a free discard, and also we're losing an extra card from their hand. So they have 4 cards left. By nature, we didn't play a Marnie, we played a Raihan just because we need to. We need 3 energies for Lost Claw, so we are forced to play Raihan. But now we got an extra discard, and I've no idea what to discard though. Should we discard the Escape Rope Experience Share? I don't think we should be discarding the Experience Share. We need it for the extra energy. Because they can do knockouts every single turn with Sneasler. All they need is the Dark Patch. And the Butterfree, obviously. Dark Patch, Butterfree, or Dark Patch, Scoop Up Net. So I feel like we should just discard Escape Rope. I don't think Escape Rope has much value. Unless if they do a boss. If they trap us with a boss, they could actually deck us out. So decking, buying time until our opponent decks out is still a strategy to win the game. And you have to watch out for that because we only have 3 switch cards in his deck. We have only 1 Escape Rope, 1 Bird Keeper, and 1 Air Balloon. So if they do a boss on the Bibarel, we're not able to retreat or switch unless if we have enough energies for the retreat cost. If they do a boss with Galar Mine, we're going to need to attach 4 energies for the retreat. Which we do have though. We have enough energies for us to attach onto Bibarel. We have 2 energy as well to, satisfy the retreat cost. But it's going to waste a lot of energy. It's going to waste us all of those energies and turns. It's going to give our opponent so many turns for them to, mill our deck or do extra disruption if they are playing a control deck. So against a control deck is going to be, a bit more trickier to play. We are kind of doing a control deck of our own because we are doing a disruption with Absol. So against a control deck, we should be playing nothing but Absol by basically countering a control by doing a bigger control, right? By hitting for extra disruption as early as possible. So here comes the Butterfree. They're going to confuse our active. I don't think they can attack this turn though. I feel like they don't have enough to attack. They have the research. So they should be getting their Scoop on Net, Energy, and Dark Patch. They just need 3 of those. Air Balloon, Scoop on Net, Dark Patch with Energy. They can't play a Raihan anymore. I feel like they need the Raihan still, like a Marnie's Pride or Raihan in addition to the Dark Patch, because they couldn't even attack. Look at that. They don't have enough energies to attack this turn and they just passed, not doing anything. Okay, let's attach the Experience Share later on another Ditto. I feel like if we attach it right now, it would be a waste because we want to be gambling on the coin flip. If we flip the coin right now, we could actually hit for 70 damage, losing 1 extra card from their hand, and they still need to damage us because even if they have, they have no Radiant Sneasler on the bench, and that means they can't actually knock us out with the special conditions because we actually get punished by 3 more damage counter with the confusion if we flip a Tails, and then we have burn and poison. They just need the Sneasler. But if they have the Sneasler on the next turn though, if they play the Sneasler on the next turn, it's still a bit too late. We can't play the Experience Share if they knock us out with special conditions anyways. And that's the reason why we should not be attaching the Experience Share on the bench Ditto on this turn. So we have our Incense, but we have no Rare Candy for the Hatterene. We just benched the Bidoof on this turn, so should we play the Marnie though? Let's just do the Marnie. I think we played the Hatterene a bit too early. We should be playing the Marnie first and then do Mine Hat. But I saw the VIP Pass and I got a bit too excited. So if we play Mine Hat, we can discard the Hatterene we can discard the Manaphy right now because we don't need the bench barrier. They're not playing any bench snipe cards. So now we are only able to lose 1 extra card from their hand. Only 1 card is not good because they have 3 cards remaining, and that means they get to play a research. If they have like a supporter card in their hand, it would be pretty bad. They are allowed to choose though. If we play Mindhat and they even have Bibarel for the draw support, so I feel like hand disruption does nothing if they if they play an ability that helps them draw cards. If they play Bibarel Kirlia, Kirlia is going to be a bit more difficult though, because you're forced to discard another card from your hand just to draw only 2 cards. Normally, if I play Kirlia, I would end up having no cards in my hand. So I feel like against Kirlia, we have the advantage as well, because we are discarding a lot more. If they play multiple copies though, eventually they would have a lot of cards in their hand. So I feel like Marnie is the perfect card. Marnie, Judge. We need those cards in addition to our, discard, because all those discard and losing 1 card is just not enough. You need that Marnie for the extra disruption. We kind of need Raihan and Marnie's Pride for our Spiritomb though. For our Chain of Spirits, Ditto. Okay. Here comes the Dark Patch, and are they going to be able to attack this turn? Probably. Still no attack. Look at that. They're still not able to attack. Oh my god, what's happening? No attack, no Radiant Greninja, no Radiant Sneasler, no energy, no training card. I have no idea what's happening here. So should we play a Bird Keeper or should we do like a Marnie? We can't flip the coin right now. If we flip the coin, we're gonna die. So let's just play Hatterene first. I feel like we should have done Marnie first. Again, we made the mistake of playing Mindhat too early. I think we wanted to play Bibarel's ability before doing the Marnie. Okay, we did Bird Keeper on the Bidoof. We're planning on playing Bird Keeper this turn, so that we have 2 Pokemons on the bench. If they play a boss, we got, one or the other to attack. Because we don't actually we have no Marnie's Pride on this turn to attach extra energy for us to do Chain of Spirits. Because Ditto needs 2 Darkness, and we can't do a Dark Patch on Ditto. So we're forced to wait 1 turn just to be able to have enough energies to attack with our Ditto. But we got Hatterene though. We got our second Hatterene for an extra discard, so we don't need to play Lost Claw this turn. We're doing the same amount of discards as the last. So Radiant Sneasler has 0 retreat, which is making the deck a lot more consistent. If you have 0 retreat, it's gonna be a lot better. I feel like they're not playing enough energies. So I think they need like a Pierre's or Energy Search in addition to the Darkness and Capture. Because apparently they're not getting anything. Okay. So we got 4 Spiritombs in the discard pile, if I'm not mistaken. And that means, well, we just need 3 though, right? We just need 3 for a Sneasler knockout because it has only 190 damage. 190 HP. It's doing so much damage though. It's doing a 1-hit knockout against a VMAX, against a V-Star. It's a little bit more difficult to hit for a VMAX knockout because you need Radiant Sneasler and the Choice Belt for 320 damage max. Right, you can only hit for 320 max, which isn't actually enough to kill Urshifu VMAX. If they play Single Strike Urshifu though, they're placing damage counters for us, so... Here comes the Choice Belt, which is doing nothing for this game because we're not playing any V cards. Okay. So it's a Darkness versus Darkness deck. We got Spiritomb and Absol, full Darkness with Ditto, colorless Pokemon, and they're playing Sneasler with Butterfree, Darkness with Grass, It's actually a bug type, but let's just call it grass, because they both have the same weakness, fire. So we're gonna do Mine Hand again, discarding the quick ball. I don't think we need the quick ball. Oh my gosh, I feel like we need the quick ball though, because we need a second Ditto into our hand. If we play the quick ball on this turn, we could have done our experience share. So that was a big mistake. We did not play our quick ball. We should have discarded the Serena because they can't attack with the Butterfree anyways. I'm just a bit worried about them playing Aurora, because they could do an Aurora at some point and play Butterfree to attack. And Butterfree is doing 90 damage for one grass and one colorless. They have a darkness attached to Butterfree already. And if they do an Aurora, they can actually kill the Ditto by forcing us to knock out a 1 prize on the next turn. So if we knock out the Butterfree, we have 1 prize, and all they need is 3 more turns to win the game. So it's going to be a bit more difficult because we only have 1 last Ditto. We have 1 last, we got the quick ball though. But now we need the Raihan, so that's the bad thing. I feel like we should have done the quick ball on the last turn. Or maybe play the Bibarel first, right? If we play the Bibarel first, we may not get the experience share though. So I have no idea what to do. If we discard the Serena, I think we have enough turns still because they have 4 prize remaining. I don't think they have enough turns for them to win the game, even if we don't play a Serena, even if they do like Gust with Butterfree. Butterfree is doing a knockout, but I don't think it's enough because we can quite easily kill the Butterfree with our Chain of Spirits, and then if we buy 2 more turns to do another, to rod back the Ditto and play Raihan for another Chain of Spirits, I feel like we have enough time to draw the final 1 prize with another Ditto. So it's very important to know how many attackers you have in your deck. We should be playing our Spiritomb from our hand, our second copy from our hand after playing the Burnet, because our first one is going to get knocked out, and that means if we play it from our hand, our next Spiritomb, we're doing 190 damage with our Chain of Spirits, right? Because we have 3 copies in the discard pile, and that means 190 against a Hisuian Sneasler. We're doing a knockout with that attack for our second copy. And if we bench it from our hand, we got another attacker without playing the Ditto, without doing the Rod that early. So if we play a Rod, we can shuffle back 1 Ditto and 1 Spiritomb. Instead of waiting for 2 Dittos to get knocked out, we get to shuffle it back early while playing, the final Ditto to attack. We get to already shuffle back the Pokemons and then search for it on the next turn. So experience share is not really that good a card to play. I prefer Marnie's Pride and Raihan, but sometimes experience share is going to save you if you have, an Absol on your bench or a Ditto. So that's the reason I say we should not have discarded the quick ball. Okay, they have 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒏. They're playing 𝑑𝑚𝑪𝒐 with Lugia V-Star. So if they get their powerful energy, they can already do their first knockout. Let's hope they don't have the powerful on the 𝑑𝑚𝒐 for the first turn. If they got it for their first turn, I would be pretty mad. It's possible though, because they are playing 4 copies and, they have nothing but special energies in their deck. They could be getting their capture and, double turbo in their hand first. I don't think they're playing that many copies of double turbo though. They would be playing 4 copies of the probably 3 copies of capture and 4 copies of powerful. So I feel like it's quite easy for them to get powerful on their first turn into their hand, or at least an Aurora capture. If they get anything but the powerful, it's not enough to do the knockout. So we got Radiant Jirachi for the draw spot. We got our Bird Keeper to switch for the next turn. So they are attaching onto the Lugia, and that means they don't have it. Is that a V-Guard? I think so. Okay, they even have Lucky Energy for 𝑑𝑚𝒐𝒏, which is pretty cool. Archeops, 𝑑𝑚𝒐𝒏. Okay, if we get 2 heads, we get to kill the Lugia and deny them the summoning star on the next turn because they don't have a second copy on their bench, and that means they can't evolve. They can't evolve into the V-Star and play the V-Star power on the next turn. They need another turn before they're able to use summoning star to get their Archeops to attack, and that means they're gonna need 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒏𝒐. They're gonna need to play Blissful Blast for their first attack to do for their first damage. Okay, we're gonna play Absol. I feel like we should be discarding Absol to get a Ditto, but I don't think we have enough attackers though. If we do that, we may not have enough attackers left. So let's just play the Absol from our hand. I think we should do our Quick Ball later. So we're gonna do Astro Misfortune. And we got it, look at that. We got 2 heads. And they're done. Now they need 2 more turns. They're stuck for this turn. They just conceded though. Look at that. They're stuck for this turn because they can't play Summoning Star. They're forced to wait for the next turn before they're able to use that V-Star power, as I said. So that's the reason they just conceded. Because we got 2 prize way too early. And then we even get to disrupt their hand if we got our Hatterene. Right, if we got our Hatterene and Marnie's Pride on the next turn, we get to disrupt their hand by losing 1 extra card as well. So Lugia V-Star is a bit more difficult because they are, they are forced to get. They are not just for the. They don't just have to evolve the V-Star. They also have to think about discarding their Archeops and also switching the Lugia into the active. So they need a lot of cards to be able to make that ability work. If they don't switch Lugia into the active though, they can still attack with 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒏𝒐, so I feel like it should be fine. They don't really need the switch card, they just need the V-Star, Evolution, and also the Archeops discard. Professor Burnet, Incense with Ultra Ball, or just Incense and Professor Burnet. Okay, now we're up against the Darkrai V-Star. So Darkrai is doing 1-hit knockouts. I feel like we have the advantage here because they are playing a V-Star deck. We're only doing 250 damage though with our Chain of Spirit, so it's not enough to kill a V-Star. Unless if they're playing Whimsicott or Alolan Vulpix. But they're playing a Darkrai, which means we need a lot more damage, a little bit more damage. We just need an extra Lost Claw to knock them out. So if we play Lost Claw and then do the Chain of Spirits, or Chain of Spirits first and then Lost Claw, we can knock them up with a 2-hit with 2 strikes, while also doing the discard and losing an extra card from their hand. So we are collecting the knockout with our Absol while playing our Disruption, which is super cool. But we actually need to play Raihan for to search for the Twin Energy. So it's a lot more difficult than you think, because we're only playing 1 copy of Absol. If we don't get our Heavy Ball, if we have it priced, if we don't get our Heavy Ball, it's not that easy to get it out. Then we're forced to play our Spiritomb 2 copies. If we play 2 Spiritombs twice in a row, or like Ditto and then Spiritomb, we can actually knock out the Darkrai without playing Lost Claw. But I feel like, it's better to play Lost Claw if you can, because that gives you an extra, an extra discard. You're not discarding, you're losing 1 card from their hand, which is actually better. But you are also, you're essentially disrupting their hand with your ability and the attack. So here comes Jirachi. We're just gonna put it in the active because we need, we need to search for more cards for the next turn. We need our Darkness Energy and another Quick Ball. If we get a Darkness and a Quick Ball, sorry about that, there was a glitch. So if we get 1 Darkness, a Quick Ball, and a Hatenna, well, we can search for Hatenna with a Quick Ball though. So we just need a Darkness and a Quick Ball. And then we get to basically discard the energy for us to play the Raihan, and then attach an extra 1. We need the Spiritomb as well, right? We don't have enough Spiritombs in the discard pile for us to do enough damage with Ditto. So that's the tricky part of the deck, is discarding Spiritomb is not that easy early in the game. If you want to discard with anything but Professor Burnet, it's going to be a lot more difficult. We have Radiant Jirachi to search for any 3 cards. That means we get to search for 3 Spiritombs, but we don't have that many discards. We're not allowed to discard that many cards from our hand that easily. We have to wait for the Hatterene Evolution to be able to discard an extra copy from our hand. We have to wait for the Ultra Ball and the Quick Ball as well. So it's not really that easy to discard Spiritomb. If we get Professor Burnet though, it's going to be a lot easier. So in addition to our balls, our Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, and Hatterene, we have Professor Burnet. And it's adding the consistency for us to play Chain of Spirits early to do at least 130 damage in a game before playing our Lost Claw or another Spiritomb. So our first Spiritomb is giving us the free search. And then on the next turn, if we discard another one from our hand, we're doing 250 damage with our Ditto on the next turn. The max damage for Chain of Spirits. So let's hope we get 2 hits. We flip a Tails on the last turn, and that's not enough. We need exactly 2 hits for Jirachi to do a knockout. So they got Darkrai already. They got a Ho-Oh as well to get extra energies from the discard pile. If they play Reviving Flames, they get to search for 4 Darkness Energy and attach it to Ho-Oh. And that means they're doing 120 more damage on the next turn. 120 more with Dark Patch. And, the free search as well with the V-Star power. They got Star Abyss to get the Dark Patch into their hand. They got Moltres for the extra energy attachment with Dire Flame Wings. And then they're doing, they're definitely going to be able to do a V-Star knockout quite easily. But against a VMAX, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. They need the Choice Belt. They got 4 energies. So 120 plus another 120 because they have 30 base with 2 energies from Darkrai with the Choice Belt. That would be enough to kill a V-Star already, right? If they have like a Moltres on the bench with 2 Dark Patch, more than enough. They're doing 300 damage with 2 Dark Patch. If they have another Moltres, that would mean that would be 330 damage. But they need to discard a lot of energies though. They need the Radiant Greninja. They need Greninja to help them not just discard enough energies, but also get their Moltres into play as early as possible. So all they need is the basic V Moltres. But if against Miltank, they need the Canceling Cologne. It's going to be a bit more difficult if your opponent plays a Miltank. It's always annoying if they have a Miltank. Okay. Miltank is quite easy to counter though. All you need is like G-Max Pulverization or Max Miracle. If you play Canceling Cologne, it's quite easy to get past that ability as well. But if they keep reviving the Miltank with Rods, if they play Thornton as well to revive the Miltank, it's going to be a lot more annoying. It's going to be a lot more difficult to win the game with your V deck or V-Star deck. So we got our Spirit Mask for this turn. And we actually get to play Chain of Spirits. While doing a knockout, we get to force them to discard an extra card from their hand if they do damage on our Ditto on the next turn. So now we're going to play Mine Hat. And I think this is the 3rd time that we're playing Astro Misfortune. Let's hope we finally get the double heads. Because they actually played a boss to kill one of our Ditto on the last turn. And that means we got it. There we go. Finally. We flipped 6 coins. We flipped the coin 3 times. And on the 3rd hit, on the 3rd attack, we finally got a knockout with our Radiant Jirachi against a V-Star, which is super cool. So they did not do any damage on their first turn, and on their second, they actually did a boss to knock out our Ditto, avoiding the Jirachi because they're kind of underestimating our Astro Misfortune, and now they have to deal with it. Now they're forced to deal with the Jirachi. They got the Miltank as well. They got Miltank to counter Miltank, which is a bit more a little bit weird because they need a full bench, so it's quite easy for the opposing Miltank to knock them out, but it's not that easy for them to kill the Miltank with their own Miltank. Okay, now they're gonna play Crobat, doing only 70 damage plus 1 damage counter from the poison is not quite enough to kill our Jirachi. So if they knock us out with poison though, if they're able to knock us out with poison or damage counters using Zigzagoon, if they have it, they would be able to deny us the ability with our Jirachi, just because its ability only works if it gets knocked out by damage from an attack in the active spot as well. So if they play special conditions or effective attacks to knock us out, we're not able, or even abilities to knock us out, we're not able to basically search for any 3 cards from our deck. So they can't even play Path to the Peak to deny us the free search. Jirachi's ability is not perfect, as we all know, but it has the Astra Misfortune, which is a pretty cool attack, so it's not perfect. You are flipping coins as well. It's quite terrible if your opponent has the right counters. But if they don't though, you got that free search for you to prepare, not just to discard your Spiritomb to do more damage with your Chain of Spirits. You can even search for Raihan to attack with your Ditto. Or even a Rare Candy Evolution. You can even do a Rare Candy Evolution and prepare your second Hatterene by benching another Hatenna. Okay. We got a Crobat knockout by doing Chain of Spirits, having 4 Spiritombs in the discard pile already. And now we just need another V knockout. We got Serena in our hand. All we need to do is play the Serena for the win. They have Ho-Oh. They have Ho-Oh on the bench. We even get to play our Escape Rope. If they bench like Moltres and Darkrai on this turn, they need either a Manaphy or a Greninja to avoid the knockout with our Escape Rope. If they play a Marnie though, we don't have the Escape Rope or the Serena, so Marnie is gonna save them. But they just conceded, so all we need is another Ditto though. If they don't play a V attacker, if they keep attacking with a 1-price Pokemon, I don't think they're doing enough damage though for the knockout. They just need 70 damage though, right? They just need 70 damage with Miltank, but they don't have enough energies to attack. So Dark Patch doesn't work for Miltank. They have nothing but Raihan to fall back on, and I don't think they have Raihan on that turn. If they have it, they would have played it already. So if they play a Raihan, we have Serena. If they play Marnie, they can't attack. So I feel like we have the advantage here. Anyways, now we're up against a Mew VMAX deck. They're playing Latios with Meloetta. I feel like they don't need the Mew VMAX though if they're doing Meloetta with Latios and Latias, just because they get to use Elisa for Melodious Echo and also to prepare for Latios to do Luster Purge doing 210 damage and also hitting a max of 280 with Melodious Echo. I feel like 1-price Meloetta with Latias is actually pretty good if they play Bibarel for the draw support instead of Genesect. I feel like that would be pretty cool. But apparently they're not doing that. They're doing a full Fusion Strike deck with Mew VMAX as well and also Genesect. They didn't get their Genesect that early though, surprisingly. So you can play Stormy Mountain for Latios and Latias, and if you do, I forgot the attack, but Latias can actually prevent all damage done to it by VMAX Pokemon. So if your opponent plays nothing but VMAX, you can attack with Latias to deny them from doing any damage on their next turn against the Latias. They're gonna need enough bosses, enough escape ropes in their deck to counter Latias, or enough Canceling Cologne. Well, Canceling Cologne doesn't work though, because it's not an ability, it's an effect, right? It's an effect of attack, and that means Cologne does not work against Latias. So we got our VIP on the first turn, which is great, and now we got like 2 Hatennas on the bench. We can prepare for our Hatterene on the next turn. Against Genesect V deck though, if they play Genesect for the draw support, I don't think Hatterene is going to do enough disruption. We are forcing them to discard every single turn though, so eventually they would be decking themselves out if they draw too many cards. We have a second Spiritomb on the bench. The reason being, if they play Elisa right now, they got a knockout on the active. They even attach 1 energy on their last turn already. and that means they just need the Elisa. If they don't play Elisa though, I don't think they have enough damage. Oh my bad, they actually have enough because Spiritomb is only 60 HP. Spiritomb has only 60 HP, so they just need one Fusion Strike energy from their hand. With the Forest Seal Stone on the Genesect, they can actually quite easily search for the special energy, attach it from their hand, do 70 damage for the knockout. So that's the reason I'm benching the second copy, because I'm preparing for the first one to get knocked out. And we got the free search though. We got our cursed message, searching for any one card and putting into our hand. We're gonna search for a Bibarel. We're gonna get Bibarel or maybe a Raihan, because we have the quick ball for us to play, for us to discard the darkness energy. Oh, we attached the twin energy on the last turn though, so we just need to play Lost Claw for the knockout, because we are actually, they are playing a psychic type in the active, and that means Lost Claw is enough to kill the 𝒁𝒂𝒂 while also losting an extra card from their hand. So let's just play our Industrious Incisor right now. I don't think we should be discarding our Rod. I don't think we have the luxury to discard the Rod with the quick ball. So we have no choice but to draw only 3 cards with Bibarel. We got the Raihan for the next turn though. So if we discard the Marnie's Pride, we get to search for a Spiritomb and discard another copy from our hand. And that means we're doing 130 damage with our next Spiritomb, and that would be enough to kill the Latios or Latias. So I feel like we should be discarding the Marnie's Pride right now. I don't think we need to worry about effects of attacks, right? If they knock us out with, if they knock us out during their turn though, if they knock us out with special conditions, then we can't play our Raihan. That's the only way we are not allowed to play Raihan, is if they knock us out with special conditions. So I think I'm just gonna end the voice right here, leave you guys to focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this new combo. So we're featuring the new Absol from Crown Zenith with Lost Claw, losting a random card from our opponent's hand, and also discarding an extra card every single turn with our Hatterene's Mindhead ability, evolving with the Rare Candy, and using Raihan to search for the Rare Candy evolution. Or we even have our Spiritomb to do extra damage as well, collecting the knockout, playing our Chain of Spirits by doing big damage, and then collecting the knockout against a V-Star after playing our Lost Claw for the first strike. We actually get to use Ditto to hit for the max damage using Chain of Spirits. Having 4 copies of our Spiritomb in the discard pile, we get to play Chain of Spirit for 250 damage using Ditto with Raihan, and also Marnie's Pride or Experience Share for the extra energy. So that's all for this video. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye from the people. Enjoy your life.